Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this Friday night edition of the Burke Brigade. Yes, it's Friday night, but our work here never stops in bringing you the news and the information that you need to know what's going on in this country. I'm Jennifer Burke, co-founder and co-editor of the Liberty Daily and the Politistic, here along with my amazing husband, co-editor, co-founder, best friend, and life partner, my handsome husband, Matthew Burke. Hey, hon.
Heavy on the handsome. Hey, sweetie, how's it going?
It's going even better now that you're here.
Oh, you sweet talker. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got an exciting evening. We're getting a little bit of a late start here on the Burke Brigade. This is episode number 7. We're going to start out here. Last night, as you know, we talked about Jeffrey Lord was fired by CNN for calling the fascist president of Media Matters a fascist, basically. And they were getting into a little bit of a kerfuffle on Twitter, and the Media Matters president was denying that the organization was funded by George Soros, America-hating globalist, commie pinko, billionaire George Soros. The president of Media Matters was claiming that they only got one donation from George Soros. However, as Newsbuster reported today, it's more like 5 gifts.
Oh my God, imagine that.
Oh, you mean they were lying? So Angelo Carusone, however, Carusone. I don't know how you say his damn name. It doesn't really matter. But he lied. He's the president of Media Matters, and he lied. So Soros' foundation to promote the open society gave them 5, not 1, 5 separate donations between 2010 and 2014. You want to guess on the amount?
I just saw it, so I wouldn't be a guess.
Okay, anybody out there you want to guess on the amount? $1,575,000. Now, can you imagine what we could do from a production standpoint if somebody dropped us $1.5 million? By the way, if there is anybody out there that would like to do that, please contact us. If you hear our dogs having a late night play night, you'll have to excuse that. We've got 3 assistants here, Ray and Flash and Bentley. And from time to time, they will add to the program. So forgive us for that. I hear Flash here panting, trying to get Ray to play. So it's all good.
Let's just add that that number, as you said, it was from 2010 to 2014. I wouldn't doubt that it got ramped up in 15 and 16. The 990 tax forms weren't available yet for 2016, so who knows how much greater it got as Soros' boy Obama was winding down the end of his presidency, and Media Matters was really going after conservative networks.
Right. So here's the breakdown. In 2010, he gave him $75,000. Also in 2010, get this, he gave him another $600,000. I mean, can you imagine what we could do with $600,000?
And what was going on in 2010? It was the rise of the Tea Party was really spreading its wings, and Obama's government was doing everything in their power to make life difficult for not just for Tea Parties trying to get tax-exempt status to their organizations, but also people personally. And they were worried, and we were embarking on the midterm elections. And shocking, George Soros went from $75,000 to $600,000 in that year. And
then 2012, another $400,000. These are all to provide general support.
Well, read what's additional for 2012.
Yeah, and to train and equip progressive. By the way, progressive always means communist. It's communist. It's window dressing for communism. Don't let them tell you any different. To train and equip progressive spokespeople with the media skills and messaging they need to effectively communicate progressive values and ideals on economic and fiscal policy in the media. In other words, take down Fox News. Media Matters is a communist front group started by George Soros with only one goal: to shut down conservative voices, patriotic, conservative, constitutionalists, libertarians, any big voice on the right that they can't debate with out in the open, because they would get crushed. So they do what all America-hating leftists do. They will try to shut you down, because ultimately they're against the First Amendment and they're anti-free speech. They know their ideas suck. They know they suck as human beings, and so they use these bully tactics. Sorry guys. At the same time, Michelle Obama's tweeting out #Stop Bullying. But yeah, who's the bullying?
Yeah,
they are. Again, the left will always tell you
projection.
Yeah, they're the great projectors, right?
Right.
Okay, you've got this weird story about high heels. What's up with that?
Oh my goodness! Just when you thought that the left couldn't get more insane, they actually do. So, hold on, bear with me for a second. This is just beyond stupid. And this quote-unquote writer, I say that with a wink, actually opened up a can of worms about herself that shows what a hypocrite she is. Now, Matthew and I have said before, we'll give Trump praise when he does something we think is good, constitutional, good for the country. And when we think he doesn't, that when he think he's pushing something that's a little too liberal, bad for the country, unconstitutional, we'll call him out on it. But these liberals are just insane with their Trump derangement syndrome.
Right.
It's absolutely insane, to the point, liberals, you were just talking about bullying. They don't believe in bullying except if the person's last name is Trump. Then obviously it's A-OK, especially if it's a woman with the last name Trump. So this woman who works for Newsweek, Nina Burley, said 6 months in, and the Trump women are well on their way to normalizing the footwear of the beauty pageant. So basically, she said it's sexist and degrading to women for Ivanka Trump, for Melania Trump, and whoever Trump's other daughter-in-law is, to wear high heels.
Now, isn't she the same woman who thought that Bill Clinton was doing so much for women during his administration that she offered him a free Lewinsky?
Yes, in fact, she not only offered him to Lewinsky him, she said women should be lining up with their presidential knee pads to follow suit. And now Melania, Ivanka, and Ivana Trump wear high heels, a symbol of everything that is beautiful and horrifying about them. High heels is just absolutely horrifying. But giving Bill Clinton a blowjob, I guess that's not any stereotypical or insulting to women.
Right, lining up women in knee pads in order to give BJs to the most powerful man in the world. No sexism there, right? Nothing. That apparently empowers women.
Apparently, I saw a picture.
Because it's a Democrat.
Of this Nina Burley,
Good
and
Lord.
My immediate words to Matthew was, I think she's just jealous of women who are attractive, because she ain't.
Yeah. She better be very good at what she does, because she ain't gonna do it based on looks. But then again, Bill Clinton has no indiscretion or selectivity when it comes to getting blowjobs. So, needless to say, those lines probably actually did occur. We know the habits of Slick Willie, serial rapist, and icon of the Democrat Party.
Yeah, here's another thing out of her idiotic mouth. Hold on, she talked about them buying into the binary stereotypes of male and female.
Oh my God, you mean there's only men and women? Look around. Oh my God, really?
The traditional binary stereotypes. High heels function in a similar way. Males respond to the characteristics way a woman walks. The movement of the female pelvis. What? Maybe she's responding. Maybe she's looking a little too closely at how they walk.
Wait a minute. Now, in the 90s, she said that women should line up and get on their knees, in servitude and service Slick Willie. She said women should do that, right?
Right.
And Bill Clinton is a man, is he not? Isn't that a binary choice?
She has evolved, hon. She's evolved. Now there's Z
I don't think she's evolved.
and V and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's called devolving. That's not diversity. That's perversity.
And let's note why she wanted to give Bill Clinton a blowjob. I'd be happy to give him oral sex. Bill Clinton, she said in July of 98, just to thank him for keeping abortion legal. So she was so ecstatic that women could continue to kill their innocent unborn babies in utero that she wanted to pleasure the President Bill Clinton as thanks.
Baby murder, yay, yay, yay. Baby murder, yay, yay, yay. And then she wants to give him a BJ. Utterly shameful and a disgusting, despicable, and evil human being.
Excuse for a human being.
God help us all. Seriously. Okay, moving along here. Keith Ellison, Congressman Keith Ellison, who happens to be the deputy or the vice chair of the Democrat National Committee, the DNC.
Anti-Semitic communist Keith Ellison.
Yes, the first Muslim congressman. So radical. He used to go by Keith X back in the day. He's a worshiper of Louis Farrakhan, who's nothing but an anti-Semite. Absolutely hates America. That's Keith Ellison's roots. Not a problem there, though. If you notice the media, they never call out anybody like him as being radical.
Never.
Ever.
He's a moderate.
If you cite the Constitution, you're deemed a radical.
Right.
Oh, you quoted George Washington? Oh, you radical. But yet, if you praise Fidel Castro, and these communist butchers around the world, or you're giving Lewinsky's to Louis Farrakhan, no, that's not radical.
No,
not a problem. No, step right up. You're a good solid middle of the road Democrat. Maybe a liberal. I mean that's progressive. It's progressive. That's what it is. Unreal. So Ellison was speaking at the leftist. It's called Netroots Nation. It's an annual conference.
Nutroots should be a better term for
Nutroots. That's a good one. Nutroots. Speaking at the Nutroots, I like that, Nation Conference. And he said that President Trump is less, how did he say it here? He said that Kim Jong-un, the communist madman, head of North Korea, is acting, quote, more responsibly than American President Donald Trump. Yes, that's right. So I'm just going to quote him. North Korea is I tell you what, can I play him? I'm not even going to play him. I'm just going to read it to you. North Korea is a serious thing. You have this guy, he's referring to Trump. He's not man enough to say his name. You have this guy, Trump, he didn't say the word Trump, making bellicose threats against somebody else who, he's talking about, the North Korean Lil Kim, who has very little to lose over there. You hear the sympathy there? The poor little communist butcher, he's got so little to lose.
He's still mourning the fact that he fed his uncle to the dogs and killed his brother.
Have you noticed he's the only fat ass you ever see? When they show all those people over there, they're all thin as a rail, and then this fat ass comes trotting out there. Why is it that, he's probably eating as much as 10 of those people? But communism and equality, and it's all good. So he said he's making bellicose threats against someone else who has very little to lose over there. Kim Jong-un, the world always thought he was not a responsible leader. Well, he's acting more responsible than this guy is. And he's referring, of course, to President Donald Trump. Now, the thing you need to know about this, you will never hear a Democrat criticize a communist.
Never.
You'll never hear a Democrat criticize a communist country. Very rarely. I shouldn't say never. Very, very rarely. That wasn't always the case. But here's the thing. The Democrat Party has been taken over by the communists. They are the Communist Party. They are the enemies within. And you have outright communists, study their past. Tom Perez, is the head of the DNC now. Keith Ellison is number 2 there. They are outright communists. If these people had their way, the USA would be the USSR. Now, apparently, Ellison got so much heat, or somebody must have talked to him, and when he was walking out, the Washington Compost got a hold of him and said the Washington Compost. That's Mark Levin's. I gotta come up with something else. I actually think I was calling it that before Levin, in my defense, but he's got a little more notoriety than we do. So I think I've come up with it. We're gonna call it the Washington Dumb as a Post.
That's a good one, hon.
That's what we used to say in old Fruitland, Idaho, when I was growing up. He's as dumb as a post. So it's the Washington Dumb as a Post. And he kind of walked it back. He said he regretted those comments. In other words, he regretted telling how he really feels. Okay, so next,
speaking of idiotic, insane, unstable leftists, Chelsea Handler,
Holly Weird.
Yeah, Holly Weird. You might have seen her wearing the pussy hat on her head, the pink pussy hat, but these leftist women, these leftist white women didn't see the inherent racism within that, because it's not like every woman.
Isn't that binary?
It's true. And not like every woman's is pink. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
But, they're
Somebody's
liberals.
got a dirty
They're
mind.
Liberals. That means they're hypocrites.
How's that not binary? She's wearing a pussy hat.
Men can have pussies too, according to the left.
Have babies and everything.
Men can menstruate. According to the left, they're literally insane. So, Chelsea Handler, I didn't even really know who she was until she started spouting her mouth off during the presidential election. I know she has a show on Netflix called Chelsea, which, after Longmire is over, I have half a mind to cancel Netflix. They have way too many far left loons who are hate mongers against people on the right who they've given shows to. But I have to see the final season of Longmire. But anyway, I digress. So Chelsea Handler, I guess she deems herself to be a military strategist now, because she wants the military to have a military coup against Donald Trump. She tweeted this morning, "To all the generals surrounding our idiot in chief, the longer you wait to remove him, the longer your name will appear negatively in history."
How is that not treason?
It is, and she wants to remove him because she doesn't agree with what he's doing. That's it. She also went after Mike Pence.
Well, she just hates him.
She also she has Trump derangement syndrome. She also went after Mike Pence. Mike Pence, over a picture he tweeted 1 year ago, he tweeted a picture of himself getting a haircut. And the
she
guy
literally went through his tweets the last year.
She's that insane. Was she smoking a joint or drinking some vodka at the time? He tweeted a year ago, "Great stop for a quick haircut at Red Barbershop in Indianapolis." And it's so hateful, the party of tolerance, which is actually the party of intolerance and hate. She tweeted F, except she said the word, your...
What?
She left it open, but I guess she meant your haircut. Get a life, Chelsea Handler.
Or maybe white privilege, since it's a black gentleman cutting his hair. Maybe she was going to hit him for his white privilege. Isn't she blonde?
Oh my God, she's blonde.
So she's a racist then?
Yeah, she's racist, according to another writer who said that blonde people are racist.
Where is that story? Do we
have that one up. I'll find it again.
Okay, I'm going to move on. You find that. So Google is in the news again today. I'm not going to go too much in detail about the epic 11-page memo that circulated through Google and set hair on fire. Progressive, leftist, politically correct hair on fire, because the gentleman, James Damore, had the outright gall to point out common sense, third grade biology, that men are different than women, women are different than men. And he had the outright audacity to point out that, maybe Google, the reason why you're having such a hard time attracting more women to tech is because they don't want to work in tech. Have you ever thought of that? So here's the deal, and this is from the dailywire.com, thedailywire.com. That's Ben Shapiro's website. It's an excellent website. And Ben Shapiro, by the way, I'm like a Shapiro fanboy. I would love to be as smart as him when I grow up. But listen to this. Google spent $265 million on diversity. That's just in 3 years, or 2.5 years, since 2014.
Wow.
On diversity initiatives. Now, what do you think the results were? Somebody's got a little too much money and a little too much time on their hands for them to throw this much money down the rat hole.
And a little too much desire for social engineering.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. So, in order to prove their cultural Marxism, that there are no difference between men and women, $265 million down the absolute toilet. So, honey, let's go over these stats, shall we? Between 2013 and 2016. 2013, there were 29% of the company was female.
Uh-huh.
How many are there now? After 265 million, you'd think it's higher, right? What, 35, 40, 50? How much? Start out 29. How much is it now?
The answer would be 29%.
29%. So, 265. What is this? The educational system? 200. If you're curious about whether Google is a leftist, liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it, outfit, here is your evidence. Who else but a liberal lunatic is going to throw that much money at a problem that doesn't really exist and get absolutely zero results? But it makes us feel better,
right.
And it keeps the our commie pinko protesters on the left from burning down our buildings and breaking our windows.
But do you know how many poor people I could have fed with that $265 million?
That's a great point.
That's why I'm here.
I never thought about that. That's right. You complete me.
Aww.
You really do. Okay. But, it gets better. It gets better. So they had 200, or in 2013, before they blew this, over a quarter of a
billion dollars.
They had 0 Latino executives. How many do they have now after their...
Oh my gosh, it's just embarrassing. # embarrassing. They have Zero. Latino.
God, we got to get some sound effects with a drum roll or something. Yeah, the Burke Brigade. Okay, so here, this gets a little bit better. 2% of the company is black. Now, I think that's significantly below the, what is it, about 13% of the public is black?
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't they fire some of the white people in favor of black people?
Well, I think that's what they're...
That's what the left
That's
advocates.
the direction they're going. That's absolutely the direction.
Doesn't matter if you have the skills to work there. They just want quotas.
So, before the $265 million, they had 2% of the company was black. And how much do they have now?
2%.
2%. So, is that an increase? Where did this money go?
Make them feel good.
Unreal. Okay, now, the good news is, though, they started out with 3% of the executives were black, and after $265 million, how many do they have that were black?
3%.
Still 3%. So, no, I guess it isn't good news. It's an absolute waste of money. They're trying to squeeze a square peg in a round hole, or what we used to call pissing up a rope. It's not working. And what are they going to do? They're going to throw more money at it. They're going to throw more money at it. They had a diversity summit. We talked about these diversity summits last night. They're these super secret events that the fired Googler James, what was his name again? Damore. Said they kept super secret. They wouldn't let you keep notes. They didn't want a paper trail because, in his mind, they were completely illegal and racist. In other words, they were treating people different depending on their skin pigmentation. So they had one of those scheduled for this week, and they canceled it because the CEO said they were concerned about physical violence.
Oh my goodness! What from Antifa, whatever the heck they call themselves?
I think they riled up the feminazis. That's what I think. So Donald Trump, let's just get back to politics here and out of the corporate realm, which has become politics, unfortunately. Donald Trump, like we talked about last night, even though he's in a bit of a spat with establishment rhino Mitch McConnell, he endorsed Luther Strange, McConnell's, what do you call him? Stooge?
Puppet.
Stooge, puppet, whatever. Yes man. Handpicked yes man in the upcoming, it's coming up on August 15th, the special election. That's a seat that was created when Jeff Sessions became Attorney General. So this Luther Strange, I guess he was the Attorney General there, and he cut a deal with the corrupt governor of Alabama, basically that he wouldn't, prosecute this guy for all the crimes he was being accused of if the governor would appoint him to temporarily fill Jeff Sessions' seat.
That sounds like a swamp to me.
That sounds kind of like a swamp creature. Weren't we going to drain that swamp?
I thought we were supposed to drain the swamp.
Instead, there's no greater swamp creature than Mitch McConnell.
Turtle? You mean Mitch the turtle?
Yeah. So why Trump is bowing to him, I know he's bashed him a little bit, and I praise him. I praise you, President Trump, for bashing Mitch McConnell. But why are you endorsing his stooges? I mean, seriously. You're going to get stabbed in the back, and hopefully you're gonna learn. And I know there's people there in the White House, like Steve Bannon, that don't like McConnell. So I wonder who's advising the president on McConnell.
Right.
I really wonder. Is it his liberal Democrat daughter? Is it his liberal Democrat son-in-law, Jared Kushner, or who it is? But Trump is getting lambasted.
Right. Ann Coulter, who was the biggest Trump sycophant on the earth during the presidential primary, general primary, and the general election, actually endorsed Mo Brooks, Representative Mo Brooks, who is a conservative, who also has a history of provocative comments. Provocative.
He's a good, solid conservative,
yeah, he's
though,
just
and
a
so
conservative.
was the other conservative in the race.
But
Ten Commandments Judge Roy Moore.
Ann Coulter endorsed Mo Brooks, and about Trump's endorsement of Strange, she said, "I love him, but that was completely idiotic." It's not the first time she's criticized Trump for some of the things he's done, but called this completely idiotic.
Now, for someone that wrote a book entitled "In Trump We Trust," I mean, you don't get any more sycophantic than that. To put your damn faith in a politician is beyond the pale. And for even her to be able to be, loud and proud about condemning that endorsement, I mean, kudos to her for, being objective, because...
In that regard, because wasn't she the one who said Trump could have performed an abortion in the White House, and she looked the other way because she was a single-issue voter of...
Build the wall.
Build the wall.
By the way, where is the wall? Oh, that's right. The McConnell types won't fund it. Yeah, but endorses stooges. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. And Coulter, I mean, Trump's getting lambasted from all sides. Ellison, he's a conservative radio host. Now, he was not a supporter of Trump during the primary and has been critical of Trump, on issues in the past. But he's talking about Curtis Strange, the golfer. No, he's not Curtis Strange. Curtis Strange, by all accounts, is a pretty good guy. This is Luther, not Lucifer, but Luther Strange. So Ellison says Strange is a pillar of the establishment status quo and will not rock Mitch McConnell's boat. Ellison wrote on his website, The Resurgent, which is another good website, in fact, Strange is one of McConnell's oar hands in the boat. Is that true or what?
Right, and then Mark Levin even got in on the action. Something has to really rile Mark Levin up. When you see things on his Facebook page or his Twitter account, he likely did it himself, but he talked about not only Trump's endorsement of Strange, but Cruz's former presidential campaign manager, Jeff Rowe, celebrating it. Levin posted on Twitter and Facebook, outrageous. Jeff Rowe, Cruz's former presidential campaign manager, celebrating, and this is what he had to say about Trump's endorsement of Strange, Trump's pathetic endorsement of Luther Strange, McConnell's rhino puppet, screwing conservatives in Alabama and across the nation. I don't want to hear about the. I don't want to hear this outsider crap anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, we never bought into this stuff that President Trump was an outsider at all. I mean, he's funded the inside for decades, and for the most part, did not fund conservatives. He did Republicans. He supported Mitch McConnell when he was going against Matt Bevin, a Tea Partier. Absolutely shameful and disgusting. Should be condemned for that. But I do applaud him for finally, getting on the Ditch Mitch bandwagon. By the way, speaking of Mark Levin, you mentioned Mark Levin. If you go to Facebook.com/Mark Levin Show, he has got a rare free edition of Levin TV on there. And the whole 55 minutes or whatever it is dedicated to Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell, this is your life. It sucks. And, no one can bash McConnell better than the great one. The great one. Mark Levin. Shut up, you big dope. Anyway, so I would encourage you to watch that this weekend. Mark Levin, Facebook.com/Mark Levin Show. And by the way, you can get a discount, a nice discount, and a week of free CRTV, that's Conservative Review TV, CRTV, by going to crtv.com/politistic, which is one of our sites. crtv.com/politistic, POLITISTICK, and you will get a nice discount. You'll be able to listen or be able to watch Mark Levin, Steve Deace, who is just, I think, incredible, a very principled constitutional conservative.
Steven Crowder. Absolutely hilarious.
Absolutely.
You're a strange animal.
You're a strange animal. That's what I know.
That's Steven Crowder's
theme song.
It's hilarious.
That's funny. We have a friend who he's probably listening right now. He's a bit of a fuddy-duddy, wouldn't you say?
Mm.
But he actually used our discount through CRTV and subscribed. And I didn't think he was a Steven Crowder type of guy.
He wasn't. He didn't think he'd like the Steven Crowder show. He didn't think he'd like Louder with Crowder.
But then he calls me. He goes, "Oh my God, did you see Crowder?" I know. He goes, "Oh my God, he did this and this and this and this." So then I watch it, and it's very, very, very good.
Yeah, so let me say, Steven Crowder, a lot of people say, oh, Crowder reaches out, he reaches the millennials. He reaches beyond the millennials because our friend is no millennial.
No, him and not gay Jared, his sidekick, absolutely hilarious. Okay, honey, do you want to bring this on home? You want to close this out?
Sure. I'll close this out.
Close this puppy out.
Okay.
It's Friday night.
It's Friday night. You know what? And, honey, we have not watched... We're a little behind. We didn't watch White Collar when it was out. But
is that out again yet?
No, White Collar's over, but we still have about 3 episodes in season 5.
No, I'm not talking about White
Collar. You're talking about Longmire.
No, another White. The White Castle. Is it called the... No, the Man...
Oh, the Man in the High Castle. We don't even have a White Castle Hill, guys. I don't know what he's talking about. No, Man in the High Castle. That's another excellent show on Amazon Prime. If you have it, it is excellent. No, it's Friday night. We're going to wrap this up a little bit early so we can go down and veg with our 3 crazy...
I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
Okay, the reason we're getting started a little bit late tonight, had some family over, and we were watching that amazing documentary.
For the second time.
Yeah, and I'll go watch it a third time, and probably a fourth time, on Glenn Campbell. If you can find that documentary about Glenn Campbell...
On Headline News.
Who died this week. On the Headline News. It's probably on the internet somewhere. It's just so touching, moving, and inspiring. Sad. Just the talent of this guy. I mean, you watch his struggles with Alzheimer's, how, he can't find the bathroom in his own house because of Alzheimer's. And then that night he'll go out and perform after he was diagnosed. And the guitar is just amazing. I mean, he'll forget the words to his songs, to Rhinestone Cowboy, or By the Time I Get to Phoenix, or Wichita Lineman, just amazing song. He'll forget the words because of this disease. But the guitar... He's just, remember that solo?
Amazing. He was performing in concert, and they had the lyrics. He could remember the guitar playing, but had a hard time remembering the lyrics. So they had lyrics on a teleprompter. And at one point in time, the teleprompter said, "Glenn, play long guitar solo." And he was just reading from the teleprompter, so he read, "Glenn, play long guitar solo."
Yeah, he read it out loud. Kind of like when Hillary did it that one time.
And then he started laughing at the fact that he did that, but then he broke out into this long guitar solo that was so incredible that it'll just blow your mind.
No, I'm sitting there laughing one minute and then tears going down my face. I mean, he was just such a legend. And then if you go to our YouTube channel today, there's an interview on there where they interview Alice Cooper. The legendary rock star, hard rocker, kind of along the lines of Kiss, I would say, in that venue, sort of. And he talks about, just go watch it. Look for Politistic on YouTube, and look for Alice Cooper. He talks about how amazing Glenn Campbell was, and they both lived here in Phoenix.
Yes.
They both moved to Phoenix area, Scottsdale, around there. We're in Arizona too, to get out of the Hollywood lifestyle. To get away. They both had drug problems. They both had alcohol problems, and they became best friends. And up until he completely went away, they used to play golf 2-3 times a week. So it's just an amazing interview. We all got to go sometime. Glenn Campbell was 81. Obviously had an amazing life. But watch that documentary because it's just very moving, I thought.
Very moving.
Very good.
Very moving. I look forward to watching the other half. That's okay. That's okay, hon.
Okay, now bring it home.
All right. We want to wish you and yours a wonderful Friday evening. We hope you have a safe and blessed weekend. And we thank you for joining us here at the Burke Brigade. Please, if you like what you're hearing, please share it with your family and friends. Share it on social media. Comment, leave comments, and just let us know what you think as we continue on this journey. And we can't wait for episode number 8.
Ain't it great? Oh, boy, I don't even know it.
God bless. God bless America.